Incredulity, that's the word of the day, John chapter 20. One of the 12 disciples, Thomas, nicknamed the twin, a.k.a. Doubting Thomas, was not with the others when Jesus came. They told him, "Hey, Thomas, we've seen the Lord." But he replied, with doubt, thus the nickname, "I won't believe it unless I see the nail wounds in his hands and put my fingers into them and place my hand into the wound in his side." So Thomas wants to make sure it's not makeup or a marker or something like that. He wants to not just see it, but experience it in every way. 8 days later, more than a week passes. The disciples were together again. This time Thomas was with them. The doors were locked, but suddenly, as before, Jesus was standing among them. "Peace be with you," he said, which is his new catchphrase post-resurrection. Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and look at my hands. Put your hands into the wound. Put your hand into the wound into my side. Don't be faithless any longer. Believe." Or another translation says, "Stop doubting and believe." No cameras back then, no Instagram, but we do have pictures like this that were painted in antiquity. This is Caravaggio's The Incredulity of Thomas. Incredulity is this refusal to believe until he gets actual evidence. And this is a visual and physical evidence. And this painting, which depicts the scene, it may have looked like this, is layered with all kinds of meaning and deeper insight that we won't go into here, but I recommend you look this picture up. And there he is, Jesus guiding Thomas's hand into the wound. A resurrected man, wounded for our transgressions, is now showing proof of himself. Why doesn't he do this for everybody? It's very simple. Thomas, when he sees this and experiences, exclaims in John 20:28, "My Lord and my God." What Jesus doesn't say is, "So I just got to do this 300 billion more times for the rest of history?" No, he says, "You believe, Thomas, because you have seen me." But listen to what he says next, because now Jesus is talking to you and me. He said, "Blessed are those who believe without seeing me." For every one time that we want to experience in full media the wounds of Jesus as proof, there are hundreds of thousands of times where he proves his faithfulness through testimonies, through our own personal experiences, through the fact that the earth is spinning and there is air in your lungs and the sun is rising. Jesus is faithful, and there is a blessing in seeing him. Thomas had a certain blessing, but Jesus said, guess what? There's an even greater blessing for those who believe and don't doubt. So as he said unto Thomas, and as you and I have looked at this story, I say to us again, stop doubting and believe. There is an emphasis on doubt. Of course, without doubt, we don't need faith. We don't need a reason to believe. But as Hebrews says, faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. So share your story. Tell us, how does Jesus move in your life? How has he shown himself faithful, not with the wounds, but with his activity, his lordship, his goodness and love? That's RadCast.